Hi there, Adrian Moorhouse from Lane 4 here. So we ran a survey. We were curious to find out what was impacting people's performance and motivation for performance during this particular period, during COVID-19. So we commissioned a survey, a YouGov survey of thousands of people in the UK to find out what was affecting motivation. One of the most interesting facts we found was that it was an under 35, a younger age group that were most affected. So up to half of that population were finding that motivation or lack of motivation was affecting their performance at work. So digging into it, it's quite an interesting piece, So what is it about not being able to connect with people, to be part of a community of people, to be face to face with people, to be socially connected, that affects motivation? Quite interestingly, things like living situations might affect a younger age group where they're sharing houses or flats with other people, and the workspace doesn't work. Or conversely, where they're on their own, they feel a little bit lonely or isolated in a way, and not be able to connect with other people. And just the video conferencing piece is just not effective for people. And then there's a fear. I think there's some thing about uncertainty. A lot of people in that age bracket were furloughed, and that's fear of anxiety of where their salary, where their revenue, their finance could come from, so they could meet living costs. There's a real mental health piece in there, I think, as well for people. What we believe at Lane 4 is that managers are key to this. And so there's something about, during this period, a lot of the senior leaders we've been talking to a lot of it's been about survival, of course, messaging in the organization about getting more money, revenue, the loss we're making, the profit we could make, and just and they've been articulating a lot around finances and new numbers, which is fine. And you know what? Really appropriate to the organization to stay alive. But that messaging itself is misaligning or disconnecting from the sense of meaning that people need, and particularly in sort of younger age groups or lower levels in the organization. And we were finding this pre-COVID, the search for meaning, and does my organization do something important, and can I connect into that organization because it's doing meaningful work, was a pre-COVID thing anyway. But right now, if the messaging is all about finances and survival, it's a good short term, and it's an anxiety-based, fear-based motive. But ultimately, connecting in with what our organisation does and why it's important we survive, and what we're offering, service or product, I think is a vital thing that leaders and managers need to be articulating. I think the other thing is about belonging as well. So again, working a bit harder on social belonging if you're doing it through the internet or through the digital virtual working and team meetings, not just going straight to task. And then people do a lot of straight to task. And I think the other things around competence, people wanting to believe that they can grow and develop. And if it is, again, just based on a task or the role you are doing or you always did, just keep doing that, please, keep on enduring. I think there's got to be some element of, I can do something a little bit differently. I can develop myself. I can train. I'm getting better at something. And there are lots of different ways of working that you can get better in this particular climate. So, I mean, I found this in Lane 4 as a managing director, so when we were thinking about working from home and who can and who can't and whether we keep the office open, and it was a younger generation that lobbied me hard, actually, to keep the office going because they wanted that place to come that was safe, 2 meters apart, and that they could feel like they could belong, could start to get a sense of meaning and be with other colleagues wrestling with these ideas. So it's that sort of intangible stuff where you're meeting and socializing, getting together with people that is critically important. So I think that as leaders and managers, you have to take a big role in creating that environment for people to be motivated. You can't just motivate an individual, you create an environment around them. So it's a fascinating piece of work that we've noticed, and we're working quite hard, and I'm working hard as a leader to do that too. Hope you find it useful.